Thank you, Madam Chair, for this opportunity to have this hearing. I think it's an important issue, and to our panelists, thanks for your presence here today. My first set of questions, I think, are for you, Mr. Kubiak, about the Patriot program. And it's my understanding, this is a program that helps screen and vet visa applicants, and that it's only at posts overseas where they have an existing visa security program. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And so that's rough. Is that 19 or 21?
21 currently.
So why can that program not be exported to other places that don't have the VSP program?
Yeah, I appreciate the opportunity to really clarify that process and how the program has developed since 2003 when it was first initiated. The Patriot process was a technological advancement for us that took a while. When I first was involved in international affairs back in 2003 through 2006, when the program was being developed, we simply didn't have the technical capability to process and screen those applications the way we do today and the way that we are doing today. As that process evolved after the GAO report in 2011, we did, in partnership with CBP, develop a system, the Patriot system, an ICE system, that allowed us to pre-screen, automatically screen, and get that information from our partner agencies like the Department of State, and then to run that automatically in many cases, the screening capability against that activity.
So I was in the CIA for 9 years. I was undercover.
Yes, sir.
One of my posts, I was a consular officer, so I stamped visas by day and did my real job at night. So we can have just a hearing on just this topic. But my question is, so when that person comes up to the window, and I'm not a VSP consulate, their name is not being ran against the Patriot database? And is the information in the Patriot database different than what's in TIDE or the TSTC database?
So those databases work together to screen the applicants in the applicant process. But you're correct, we don't currently have the capability to screen the world, if you will, all the applications around the world that are submitted, and we are screening and vetting those applications at the 21 locations that we are. We are working currently, now that we have the Patriot capability and the ability to do that, to assess, number one, how we would turn that capability on and where it would make sense to do so remotely without additional personnel. I don't think that we will likely ever be in a situation to be at all 225 visa issuing posts physically, and so those that are lower threat. And
so what's the limitations of this? This should be an automated process where you take whatever identifying information that you're collecting through the visa application, and it should be run against every single one of the databases that are in our systems. That's the purpose of TIDE. And I'd also welcome your response to that, but Ms. Gambler, I'd welcome and appreciate your perspective on this too, if you have one as well. But Mr. Kubiak, over to you.
Sure. So that capability is automated now, and that's just as of
21 locations. Why
in 21 locations.
220.
Well, that's what we're working on doing now, sir, is we're attempting to assess whether the capability and what the viability is of that. It's not as simple as flipping the switch and being able to do that. It's additional. It's not completely automated process. There is a human factor associated with screening the information that the automated system puts out, being able then to deliver that to someone at post who can then operationalize that activity, and being able to do the additional.
Do we have a timeline?
Sir, I don't currently have a timeline. No, that process is in development at this point. We are.
Thank you, Mr. Kubiak.
Sure.
Ms. Gambler, do you have any insights?
The thing that I would add, based on the work that GAO has done, and the last report was in 2011, so it kind of predated sort of the implementation of this program that we're now discussing. But at the time, ICE had a plan for expanding the visa waiver program, but we found that there were some gaps in how they were addressing risks through that plan. And so from our perspective, it's important, and this is what we recommended, that ICE needs needed to, assess ways to address these higher risk posts that don't have a visa security program presence, to be able to be better positioned to address, risks in the process. So from our perspective, it's important as ICE considers, plans going forward for the visa security program that they take a risk-based approach to doing that.
Mr. Wagner, do you have anything to add?
Yes, just that, once the visa is issued, we do recurring vetting on the visa database. And we do run the visa database through our targeting and analytical tools, and then work with ICE and Department of State on any results that we do come out of that for potential revocation of that visa. And then, of course, when they travel and book their travel, we're also vetting that information again.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Wagner. And Madam Chair, I think this may be an area that the terrorists, the foreign fighter pipeline subcommittee should continue to look into.